Pikmin 3 Deluxe announced more PlayStation exclusives for Avengers and your daily gaming news recap. Coming right up. Welcome back to Sodi Pop right here on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, August 5th. I'm Matty, and this is Chatty with Matty, your source for the daily gaming news recap. Don't forget to check out my new show, Reflections with Matty, which I'll go ahead and link above somewhere here. And then, if you are so inclined, please like, follow, subscribe, all that great stuff. Without further ado, I have my drink. Let's chat. So to begin with, we have Pikmin 3 Deluxe officially announced here. So this is coming from the Nintendo Switch. It is October 30th. We will be seeing it of this year. It's pretty crazy because we have not seen a Nintendo Direct in quite a long time. There's been constant teases. Every single new month we get a tease for Nintendo Direct. Most recently, Jeff Grubb actually showed on his little Summer of Games Fest sheet that yes, there's going to be some sort of Sony PlayStation thing. There's going to be an Xbox announcement in August. And he did leave room for a possible Nintendo announcement, but really no one knows when or if there will be a Nintendo announcement. This could be hinting at Nintendo's big thing. If you remember, Luigi's Mansion was released around this time last year as one of their bigger games. So October 30th, is this one of the bigger games? And is this going to be a hint at just how Nintendo is going to be communicating to us for the rest of the year? Are they going to have any big, instead of Nintendo Direct Minis, are they going to have any big Nintendo Directs? This Pikmin game looks fantastic, super excited for it. Obviously some updated visuals, and it looks like a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and check out what we can expect from this Pikmin game. Coming from Nintendo.com, Pikmin Deluxe 3 Deluxe delivers a full suite of additions and enhancements, including the ability to play the whole story mode in co-op, awesome, with a friend, new side story missions which can also be played in co-op, and all mission mode DLC stages from the original games released, with new difficulty options, lock-on targeting, optional hints, and choice to play with more relaxed pace. It's easier than ever to join in on the Pikmin fun, enjoy the game's beautiful scenery, and get a taste of this vibrant world has to offer. Fun features from the original game also return in Pikmin 3 Deluxe, such as in-game camera, which allows players to snap photos of lush environments, curious creatures, and the pint-sized perspective. A little bit lower down, we see that Pikmin 3 Deluxe adds new side story missions featuring Olimar and Louie exploring planet PNF 404. And for a bit of friendly Pikmin flinging fun, there are even head-to-head multiplayer matches available in Bingo Battle. So we'll see a little bit of additions from the actual Pikmin game. Also, we see right here that it is going to be a full price $59.99 game, again coming October 30th, as we just discussed. Hopefully we see a bigger Nintendo Direct. I don't like trailers just dropping like this. I do sometimes, but not instead of a bigger style Nintendo Direct. Some PlayStation news. There's been some confusion on the PlayStation backwards compatibility. This apparently cleared up on Resetera forums. We see on Twitter here there's been some confusion. This is coming from Lance McDonald of Man Fight Dragon. There's been some confusion about this in the past, and I can clear it up now. The PS5 can run all PlayStation 4 games without per game whitelisting. Sony continued to test titles, but the system will not prevent you from launching untested games. That is awesome to hear, because sometimes games work just fine out of the box, but on the Sony side, we need them whitelisted. For what reason? Oh, just to make sure there's no particular bugs. That's awesome to hear. It seems like most games, if not all games, will work out of the box. Obviously, there will be the exceptions for weird ones requiring maybe some move controllers or the camera. I don't know. But it seems that most PS4 games will work just out of the box, which gives you a library of games to play right away or to revisit as well. In other PS5 news, the controller. So unverified images is coming from videogamechronicle.com. Unverified images which appear to show black version of the DualShock 5 DualSense controller have appeared online. I said DualShock and DualSense. It's just DualSense. So this is just images of black controller measuring a width of 120 millimeters. That's 4.72 inches, and then 180 millimeters, which is 7.08 inches if you're counting in the United States. Yes, so it looks really good. I mean, I doubt this will be the actual final thing. It doesn't look like a complete controller to me. It looks like it's lacking some stuff. Obviously, the paint on the PlayStation button isn't there. It's not silver. It just looks like an unfinished controller. Maybe the paint job wasn't finished on this particular one. But we get to also see a nice DualSense controller here. So I'm going to go ahead and reload this page quickly. The DualSense controller here, we get a nice full 360 look at this. You can actually go on PlayStation.com, look at all the PS5 accessories, and they all have this nice spin around view. So we'll go ahead and look at the media remote. Along with this update to the website, we actually got to see a few things about it. They added some new information. So number one, headsets to use USB dongles again. Now, we knew this previously. I did announce this previously with some of the backwards compatibility that we talked about with the PS4 to PS5 accessories, that if you do have a Bluetooth headset, it's going to need like the wireless gold headset or the platinum headset. They have a USB dongle which goes in, cuts down on the latency, and it's unfortunate that PlayStation is not supporting just pure Bluetooth yet. That is a little bit frustrating. Sometimes Bluetooth lags. I have this old Bluetooth Astro A40, I think, which has not been great with Bluetooth. It's unfortunate because it looks so good. Also, headphones. The new headphones, the Pulse 3D wireless headset, will have a 12-hour playback. That's awesome, fantastic. HD camera will have the ability to crop out backgrounds, fantastic for live streaming. But I have a nice background that I worked on. So, and then the media remote will have an IR blaster to control the TV as well. Fantastic, much needed. I would say that would be greatly missing if it couldn't control the TV as well. Also, Sony, coming from Bloomberg, expecting some profits, but scaling back what they're expecting. So coming from Sony Corporation, Bloomberg reported profit that outpaced estimates on strong demand for its game products, but offered a measured forecast for the fiscal year due to the uncertainty from the coronavirus pandemic. So they're being cautious with this next coming year. Still, Sony anticipates strong sales for the PlayStation 5, recently asking suppliers to double production. Remember, we talked, it went from some reports say 9 million, some say 10 million, somewhere in there. And last quarter made clear the coronavirus is fueling demand for games as many people are stuck at home. The PlayStation Plus subscription service added 3.4 million users, the single biggest quarter addition since Sony began recording quarterly figures for it March 2018. That is phenomenal. More and more gaming. This hobby rocks. Also, quote, the PlayStation units results, which showed superb, this is coming from an industry analyst, which showed superb software sales that even exceed momentum during the recent years and holiday season, is clearly a big positive surprise, said Hideki Yasuda, an analyst at Ace Research Institute. People's hesitation to go outside will likely persist for months, a strong tailwind for Sony's games unit that will last at least through this fiscal year. I think the core of Sony PlayStation early adopters will snap up the first several million units quickly, said McGuire Capital analyst Damien Thong. With backwards compatibility, their existing game library will work with the new console, and new machines will be usable right away. Thong said that he expects the standard PS5 unit would be priced at $500 and the disc driveless version will be sold at $400. Altogether, he said Sony would sell more than 6 million units of the PS5 consoles by the end of March next year. What do you guys think of those numbers? I think, the PS5 in particular will probably sell out pretty darn quickly. And then I'm thinking of price points between that $450 to $500 range. It could go all the way down to $400, all the way up to $550, maximum $600 in my thoughts. That'd be super surprising if they got quite up there. More additional news, Zynga beats Q2 2020 expectations with bookings up 38% to $518 million. This coming from VentureBeat. Just reporting this just came out a couple hours ago. Again, the game industry is doing so phenomenally well this year and probably will continue to as long as the coronavirus is keeping people inside. I probably shouldn't have said the full name. Also, in the PlayStation blog, work together in style with community challenges and cosmetics for Marvel's Avengers. So this week we saw Spider-Man is exclusive to Sony PlayStation in Marvel's Avengers. Now, some people are really upset about this. I think this sucks because, let's say Spider-Man added to any other game, not a big deal. But Spider-Man is one of the biggest, if not my personal opinion, the coolest Avenger out there, or the coolest kind of Marvel, one of the coolest Marvel characters out there, and you're locking him away as a system exclusive. If this was Soul Calibur, and again, they had like Yoda and Darth Vader and Spawn, and they had Link in Soul Calibur as extra characters, well, they're not part of the Soul Calibur universe. Spider-Man is part of the Marvel universe and is locked entirely away. Well, there's more exclusives per the PS blog yesterday. We're gonna go scroll down here. A lot of cool, you can see different skins and stuff. But starting here, PlayStation players will have exclusive access to certain community challenges where PlayStation Nation will work together to accomplish goals in order to gain rewards specific to them. Even more PlayStation advantages. When it comes to cosmetics, PlayStation players will have a 30-day exclusive access to legendary outfit, legendary emote, epic takedown, and nameplate for each superhero as they're released. This is also for the 6 launch heroes. In addition, we also have rewards for those with PlayStation Plus subscription. A lot of you out there, I'm sure. For each superhero added to the game post-launch, Hawkeye included, all PS Plus members will receive a free bundle that contains a rare outfit, nameplate, and 100 credits to celebrate the addition of another Avenger to the roster. At launch, we'll have free bundle for Ms. Marvel available for PS Plus members to embiggen our love for Kamala. That sounds fantastic for PS Plus players. Again, it kind of sucks for anyone else. I wouldn't be so... I wouldn't care necessarily about this particular one as much. Again, I think the Spider-Man exclusivity is the more egregious thing. This just adds a little bit of salt to the wound. This is the style of stuff that's more expected from what I see, but still just more PS Plus exclusives. Seems like if you want to pick up this game, PlayStation is the way to go. Also, we have Capcom. Capcom kind of surprise released this Champion Edition Street Fighter Season Pass roadmap. This will be for Street Fighter V. We have Dan coming in, Rose, Oro, Akira Kazama. Now, she is coming from Rival Schools, which was an old Capcom fighting game that people have a ton of love for. From what I've seen, people are pretty dang happy with this roster of lineup. Dan is a very popular Street Fighter character. But why is this happening? Well, Aesthetic Gamer over on Twitter. Now, Aesthetic Gamer is fantastic at leaking and talking about stuff. He's somewhat of an industry insider. He talks about this. As Capcom is trending for Street Fighter stuff, though I'm not really a Street Fighter fan, I can mention I know the reason for the unexpected Street Fighter V Season Pass. The most basic gist of it is Street Fighter 6 is supposed to release next year, but it was not received well internally or with testers. There's this team mechanic in the game that was too focused on the director, who was Eno but got demoted again, and someone else is put in charge to fix Street Fighter 6 with the additional year in development, and the new season pass is to buy time for that. There is a bit more to it, but I know talking about this stuff makes people to ask about it, and really I don't care that much about fighting games, though my brother loves them. For what it's worth, I've heard the extra year and new director fixes and direction they've taken have been doing wonders. So he's essentially saying, or he also said, I typoed Eno but I meant Ono. So that's the actual director. So he's saying that this season pass was released because Street Fighter 6 is going to be delayed mightily, but it seems like the changes they're making are for the best with playtesters and internally. I'm all for that if they're going to make stuff better, take as much time as you need. Also coming from Aesthetic Gamer, this time in a Resetera form. I'm not going to read all this because it contains spoilers. He goes into more stuff about Resident Evil 8. So he actually has essentially what seems like the entire opening section of the game. I'm going to read just a little bit of it, and then I'm going to leave it in the below comments or the description. So go ahead and click on it if you want to read more about the beginning of the game. I personally don't really want to be spoiled, and I don't want to spoil you guys. But he said here's just a few clips about it. Game opens up with an animated storybook. where Mia reads a fairy tale. So we'll just go there. I don't want to talk about more in case you haven't finished Resident Evil 7 or anything, but very, very excited. Let me just say that about Resident Evil 8. And if you haven't yet, please like, follow, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about all these stories down below. I love chatting with you. Again, check out Reflections with Matty. That is a segment where I go a little bit deeper into specific topics and a little bit more theories about games, and specifically most recently Xbox as well. And thank you so much for everyone who has commented and subscribed. I'm having so much fun with this. There's still so much that I'm building out around as well. All right, let's get to some more news. So the $70 price tag has been much debated recently. We see here from The Verge, Take-Two retreats from the $70 games being the norm for PS5 and Xbox Series X. We'll talk about CEO Strauss Zelnick, this is the main crux of the article, now says that he may not be the company's plans for all of the next-gen titles going forward. We're definitely announcing pricing on a title-by-title basis, Zelnick said in the earnings call Monday evening. I would just observe there hasn't been a frontline price increase for a very long time, although costs have increased significantly. That is very true. I think a lot of people that have a level head are pretty much in agreement with the $7 price increase. It's just so odd that NBA 2K20 was the first game to do it because they have so many horrible microtransactions, and they also want to increase the price of the base game. I'm saying if you're going to increase the price of the base game, get rid of microtransactions, or vice versa. Do one of the two, but don't do both, especially if you're one of the first games to do it. So hopefully we will see something good come out of this. I know there's been quite a bit of backlash, especially for NBA 2K20 increasing the price. Sony and Microsoft don't know the price of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. This is an opinion article coming from Jeff Grubb. Of course, he breaks down that both Sony and Xbox know the price of their components. They know what's going on and they know what is happening. But the thing is, they're essentially waiting for each other to go, and they're probably not going to undercut a ton, but they're going to at least match the price. So, Grubb says here, both companies have run the numbers on a range of prices and they're ready to go with if needed. And the only thing they're waiting for is each other. Does this mean one company is waiting to undercut the other? No, that's likely not the case. The thing about the game of chicken is that it's probably going to have an anticlimactic ending where each console launches at the same price. Based on the specs, the Xbox is potentially more expensive to produce than the PS5, although the PS5's exotic storage interface may push it over the Xbox. At the same time, Microsoft is more equipped to absorb losses from hardware than Sony, and it's not like the PS5 is going to break even at $500. And while neither company wants to lose a lot of money selling hardware, they know that getting off to a strong start is crucial. The people who buy into a console on day one are going to influence their social circles, and that can have a cascading effect. So in Sony and Microsoft going to keep the possibility of coming to a $50 cheaper than the competition of their pocket is possible? Yes. So essentially they could undercut by $50, $25, but most likely they're going to be at the same price. And getting off to that first foot is super important. That includes messaging and marketing. I've been talking a lot about that with both the PS5 and the Series X. They're very different theologies or theories when it comes to marketing and how that could affect their sales as well. Microsoft, there are no changes to be made to the Xbox Gold Pass right now. So we saw this earlier in the week on Monday. They said, or Tom Warren had noticed, that the Xbox Gold memberships were missing. The 12-month and I believe the 18-month membership were missing from the actual Xbox store or the Microsoft store. You couldn't purchase them at this time. So people thought that was very curious, especially considering that Gamepass is making so much headway. So, quote, to update the Xbox Online service in the Microsoft Services Agreement refers to the underlying Xbox service that includes features like cross saves and friend requests. This language update is intended to distinguish the underlying service and the paid Xbox Live Gold subscription. There are no changes being made to the experience of the service for Xbox Live or Xbox Live Gold. Now, that doesn't, again, really talk about the 12-month membership disappearing, but I think we're going to see everything being rolled into Game Pass at some point. In addition to Game Pass, we're seeing that Game Pass will launch September 15th on Android. Now, this is super cool. Again, I just did sign up for Game Pass on the PC recently. Works pretty darn well. I tried out Grounded for a little bit. Not necessarily my style of game. I remember, let's see, survival game, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You're battling ants and different spiders and stuff. And then I also did boot up the Master Chief Collection and started playing the first Halo game again after many, many years. Really enjoying it. Definitely shooters have progressed since the first Halo game, but I haven't played Halo in a long time, so I'm missing it. I'm really looking forward to going on to Halo 2 Remastered and 3, and then of course ODST as well. So go ahead and check this out. They also did a special deal in particular with Samsung for Android phones. So go ahead and check this out for the Galaxy Note 20. Samsung is coming from The Verge. Samsung is unveiling its new Galaxy Note 20 headset today, and with it, a unique Xbox Game Pass partnership. Microsoft is partnering with Samsung to include a special version of the Xbox Game Pass app in Samsung's Galaxy Store. This version will allow Xbox players to redeem tokens and make in-app purchases like buying skins or DLC items in the Xbox Store. The Xbox Game Pass app available on Google Play Store will not support these types of in-app purchases. It's clear Microsoft and Samsung have struck a special deal, which is likely undercuts the 30% Google asked for to enable them exclusively for Galaxy Store version. The deal comes just as rumors suggest that Google is trying to convince Samsung to promote its own Play Store over Samsung's alternative. Alongside the Xbox Game Pass app, Samsung is also offering the gaming bundle for the Galaxy Note 20 that includes 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PowerA's Moga XP5-X Plus. The controller is made with the game streaming xCloud part of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate in mind and can keep your phone charged while you play the game. That is awesome. It remains to be seen exactly how xCloud works on these devices and Android, but I can tell you Game Pass, for my short time with it, is pretty darn cool. A really good deal as well. So I'm excited. One thing I will note about the Game Pass is I tried to use my Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which works fantastically with Steam. It does not work really at all with Game Pass, at all. I tried using it with the Master Chief Collection. I looked this up. Apparently this is a known problem. I'll probably have to go out and get a controller. I had an Xbox 360 controller laying around somewhere, but I misplaced it, so I'll probably have to get a new one. But anyways, that about does it for the news for today. Lots and lots going on. Let me know what you think down below about everything I covered. The $70 game price. What do you think about Pikmin 3 coming to Nintendo? How about those exclusivities for PlayStation with the Avengers? Again, I'm Matty. Follow me on the 3Ts and IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram at SodiPopMedia. I urge you to have a wonderful day. Remember,
be yourself
and eat a cookie. Bye.